At last, a void has been filled in the construction industry. A new American national standard has been developed for safety in the construction of piping systems in buildings where people work and live. Designated B31.9 by the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, the Building Services Piping Code fills the need for standards in the design and construction of piping systems for a variety of structures. Among these are industrial buildings, commercial establishments, public buildings, institutional buildings, and multi-unit residential buildings. For years, engineers, contractors, and owners have had the difficult job of trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. They have had to improvise, to arbitrarily select codes, and apply inappropriate standards to the construction of piping systems in buildings. The result has been over-design or under-design of work, extra costs, and confusion. Now, experts representing a wide spectrum of concerned groups and representatives of the public have joined together and agreed on a national code for building services piping. This consensus committee of the ASME worked under guidelines established by the American National Standards Institute, ANSI. This code now joins the series of B31 American National Standards developed for pressure piping by the ASME. No longer will codes for the high-pressure piping industry have to be applied. No longer will jobs be over-designed with excessive requirements, particularly for examination and testing, thus adding to the cost. Nor will jobs be under-designed, thus jeopardizing safety and quality. Low-pressure piping systems now have a section of their own in the code. Standards for piping required by heating, ventilating, and cooling systems in industrial and commercial facilities have been set. What is the impact? Code officials now have a national consensus standard for low-pressure piping to apply in local areas. Architects, engineers, and contractors have a guideline to follow in the design specifications and construction of building services piping systems. By requesting that the B31.9 code be used in writing project specifications, owners and developers can be certain they are comparing apples and apples in evaluating construction bids, not apples and oranges. Developers and owners will benefit from the increased efficiency and lower construction cost. The public will be assured of safe mechanical systems. They will also be assured of proper design for pleasant living and working environments. Since the Consensus Committee is a continuing one, all concerned can be assured that the code will be kept current with new developments in piping materials, design, construction, and usage. There is no doubt the development of the B31.9 Building Services Piping Code will have a far-reaching impact on the construction industry and the public in the years ahead. Because of its importance, all concerned with construction need to have a clear understanding of the code. The B31.9 code prescribes minimum requirements for the piping systems in the building or within the property limits. These requirements cover design, materials, fabrication, installation, inspection, examination, and testing. The code applies to these building services: water for heating and cooling, condensing water, steam and condensate, other non-toxic liquids, vacuum, compressed air, other non-toxic, non-flammable gases. However, B31.9 does not apply to all types of building piping. Certain types of piping are already covered by local codes and other ASME and American national standards. These include boiler piping above certain pressure limits, along with refrigeration, hot and cold potable water piping, sanitary and storm drainage systems, fire protection, and other fuel piping. Formulas are given for minimum wall thickness and maximum design pressure, ensuring the safe and practical design. One of the most important parts of B31.9 is the chapter devoted to the fabrication, assembly, and erection of piping systems. Welding procedure specifications are required. These procedures, methods for putting pipe together, must be qualified before any welding is done. That is, it must be demonstrated that welding done using these procedures will produce joints that meet prescribed industry standards. Each employer is responsible for all welding done by his employees. Contractors are responsible for qualifying any welding procedure they intend to use. The contractor is also responsible for the qualification of welders and welding operators they employ. All their welders must demonstrate that they can produce quality welds using the qualified procedure specifications. The qualification of procedures and the performance qualification of welders must be done in accordance with the Section 9 of the Boiler and Pressure Vessel Code of the ASME. This code is an American national standard. This qualification of welding procedures and/or performance qualification of welders benefits construction specifiers and building owners. They can be confident that building services piping systems are fabricated, erected, and installed in a proper, safe fashion by knowledgeable contractors using qualified workers, thus removing the need and expense of repairing faulty welds. Another section of B31.9, paragraph 927.5, provides for interchange of welders who have qualified using these procedures. That is, they have demonstrated they can produce welds that meet the procedure specifications. This interchange eliminates costly and time-consuming retesting of welders, resulting in further savings for owners, with no reduction in quality or safety. Since its formation in 1945, the National Certified Pipe Welding Bureau, a department of the Mechanical Contractors Association of America, has assisted its contractor members in this interchange. Through its 45 chapters, the NCPWB has created a vast pool of welders, uniformly trained and qualified, who can carry out construction work that is safe, high quality, and cost-effective, and that results in large savings to the owner. These welders, qualified by NCPWB members, are a tremendous resource for contractors, engineers, and building owners and developers. Fully tested and certified, they can perform work that meets all the welding requirements of the B31.9 code and other B31 codes. The B31.9 code does fill a void in the construction industry, and you should specify it for building services piping in your projects. The B31.9 code eliminates the over-design and under-design of work, eliminates unnecessary expenditures, and eliminates confusion in building construction specifications. Using the B31.9 code simplifies specifications writing by engineers, assures safety and quality in building services piping, results in cost savings in building design and construction. The B31.9 code can benefit you, whether you are a building developer, owner, contractor, or an engineer. Be safe. Designed to code. For further information on the advantages that B31.9 can offer you, write the National Certified Pipe Welding Bureau,